Are you one of those gamers that's thinking about getting into sim racing? Or do you live in a small space and don't have a lot of room for a full dedicated sim rig? Or just tired of racing at your desk? I know this looks like a beach chair, but it's in fact a sim rig, a foldable one at that too. This is the RacGTing Challenger 301. It's nice, compact, and easy to put out of the way when you're done sim racing. And this foldable rig is best suited for entry to mid-level wheelbases from Logitech, Thrustmaster, Moza, and Fanatec. Here I'm using the Moza R12 and the Venym pedals, which might be a bit much, but we'll find that out as we dive into the review. So this rig goes for €205, and I do have links down below on where to purchase this rig or other ones from their website. They do have warehouses in the US, EU, UK, and Japan to make shipping a lot easier. And using the links in the description, you'll get a 5% discount as a way to say thank you for supporting the channel. When you get it, it comes in a fairly compact box and everything is nicely packaged together. As long as you follow the instructions, you'll be set up in less than 20 minutes. Setting up the rig is super simple. First, untighten the bolt hinges, flip out the backrest, and fold out the pedal plate. Next, you have to connect the brackets that are on the back bottom to underneath the seat. Then adjust the backrest as you see fit. Now connect your wheel plate and snap it into place. Now you can be able to mount your hardware. And mounting the Moza R12 was very simple. The wheel plate does have a variety of bolt patterns for different wheelbases. All you gotta do is just line it up with the right ones and use the supplied bolts to attach the base to the rig. It's the same thing with the wheel plate. It also has different patterns to mount your pedals. Here I mounted my Venym load cell pedals on with no issues. And the last thing you can do is adjust the distance of the pedal plate by using the bolts here. You get about 30 centimeters of travel. And then the last thing is the shifter plate. You can mount it on the right or left side. And again, it's got different bolt patterns for different shifters out there. And once everything is adjusted, now you can use it. And with me being 6'2", the rig actually felt pretty comfortable once I got in and I had everything adjusted for me. Now we can get into testing the folding rig, starting from the folded position. I could get this rig unfolded and set up in less than 40 seconds. All you have to do is just undo the Velcro straps, fold everything out, connect your base and pedals, then lift the wheel plate, get in, lower the plate, and then secure it, and off to the races. I'm being honest with you guys, this is my first time using a foldable rig, and I thought it wasn't going to be sturdy enough with the R12, but I was surprised there was minimal flex, and I never really felt it when I was racing, and with the pedal plate being flat on the ground, there was no noticeable flex on my load cell pedals. The seat is a soft back cradle chair made of suede fabric, and it's in a low slung position, making it really comfortable. It's almost like sitting in a beach chair. And the pedal plate is adjustable. All you have to do is unscrew the bolts. It's not really something you can do during a race, but with the amount of adjustability, it is suitable for young drivers to full adults. And as I said earlier, I am 6'2", and I was able to sit in it very comfortably, and the base and pedals distance was great for me. You get a few inches to adjust the wheel plate, and about 30 centimeters for the pedal plate. I weigh about 210 pounds and never felt like it creaked or was like gonna collapse on me. There was no weight limit on it, so if you are a little bit heavier than me, you might not be good to go. Looking at sturdiness, it is sturdy enough to not notice while driving. The wheel plate does have some flex moving back and forth, and barely noticeable when you're going side to side. But that flex comes from the base joint on the sides, but once you're driving, you don't really notice it unless you're really looking for it. And I think this rig is very well matched for groups of sim racers that have wheelbases up to 9 Newton meters. I did find my load cell pedals were a bit too much for this plate. I had to switch my elastometers out for softer ones because the pedal plate would slide forward when I pressed the brakes. I do wish instead of using bolts that put pressure on the metal to keep the plate in place, there was kind of like a lock pull mechanism. But if you're using pedals equivalent to the TLCMs or weaker, you'll be just fine. So for sure, this is a starter rig for casual racers. It's not meant to have high-end gear bolted to it. It's a rig for starter equipment up to mid-range. So we have to look at it in that context and not compare it to those fixed tube or profile setups. And again, in that context, this rig does a lot of things very well, and it is sturdier than I expected. So let's get my cons out of the way. And again, looking at it in the context of a starter rig, it works very well, and not a lot of things really bother me. I do wish the pedal plate could be used at an angle, not lay flat on the ground. That's just really how I like my pedals to be set up. And another thing is the pedal plate slider doesn't lock into place. It relies on tension and friction from the screw onto the bar to stay in place. So you really can't use stiff pedals without the plate sliding forward. And again, like I mentioned earlier, I wish they had some sort of hole locking mechanism where the thing can lock into place. And last, the flex on the wheel plate that goes back and forth. But I really think that's more of a limitation of the design, and I'm not really sure how that can be fixed. But again, when you're actually in the sim and racing, it's not something you're really going to be focused on or you're going to feel. Now going into the pros, this is a rig that is perfect for somebody that wants to get into sim racing using entry to mid-level gear, but doesn't really have the dedicated space for a permanent setup or doesn't have a lot of money to spend. It is very adjustable for people of all heights. Again, there is no weight limit stated, but I felt no problems using it with my weight of 210 pounds. Overall, I did find the RacGTing 301 to be sturdy enough to get the job done and then be packed away when you're done sim racing. Well, what do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments down below if this is going to be a good starter rig. And as always, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when we have more content coming out. And until next time, have fun racing. Later.